Hi again, this is Kimberly from the Manoa Library and Information Science web team, and today I'm going to go through our first session of Beginner's HTML. It's going to be really simple. I just want to show you some real basic information. Okay, so HTML, what is it? It stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is a language also known as code, which tells a browser how the page should look. Let me give you a quick example of what that looks like. So if any other page that you go to on the internet, this is our Library and Information Science web team page. If you want to look at the hypertext markup language, you'd right click and click on view page info. I'm sorry, not view page info, view page source. And this is what HTML looks like. And it's a lot of information, but you can see, I'll go through it in a minute, but you can see all the different HTML in here, such as you can see style, that's a closing style, and that's a beginning style, body, head, li means list. There's a lot of things. This right here is a link to a table and some images. So as you can see, every page that you go to is going to look like that. All right. So it's a language otherwise known as code, which tells the browser how the page should look. HTML pages have basically two components. That's content, such as text, images, videos, links, that kind of thing, and also HTML commands, otherwise known as HTML code. And that tells the browser, again, how the page should look, how it should display. So it's going to tell it how to display the links, the color, the formatting, tables, pictures, everything. Okay, so there's some HTML elements. They are known as tags. So these tags are surrounded by brackets. And so as you can see here, every tag, every command, opening bracket and a closing bracket. And the actual language for the command is going to be in between. Now, the tags are not technically case sensitive, but for good practice, you should always use lowercase when you're coding. In HTML, tags often come in pairs, so they have, again, here's the starting pair and the ending of the pair. So you're going to have your opening bracket, text, closing bracket, and then to close off this actual code, you have to enter it again. So basically what's going to happen is you have your code here, you have some kind of content in between, and in order to close off that code, to finish telling it that this content only applies to the body, you have to close it out. So you have this bracket here, a forward slash, which makes it the ending or the closing part of the pair. So this is beginning and ending. And then text for the code and a closing. It seems very confusing at first, I know, but as long as you remember it has a starting and an ending code, you'll be good. And I'll show you an example of that in a minute. Okay, so there are some exceptions to this rule. They're very limited though. So for example, your hard page break, it's going to be BR, and you can enter in as many as you want down without ever closing it, and it'll just keep entering hard breaks. That's kind of rare though, so it's not something that you're normally going to come across. Also, nested HTML tags, they look something like this. As you can see, it's good practice not to just do everything down straight in a row, but to sort of nest them into each other. So you have like a little bit of a angle here, which makes it easier to read the code. So as you can see here is the body, this is the opening HTML. This is the opening for strong, which is otherwise known as bold. So for layman's terms, it's bold. And then you have your title. You're going to close off that bolding and then close off the body. So some tags can also have properties, otherwise known as attributes, which can further refine the effects of the tag. So for example, here's something that's classifying the text for making it pink, and also an alternate title for your image. So if somebody goes over the image and they're trying to, basically, if they have some kind of a visual disability, they can mouse over the image and see either a logo or a title or something like that. Okay, so this is what a basic HTML document would be structured like. So you have your HTML at the very top. It tells the browser that this is all going to be HTML and it should read it as a language. You have your head, which is the header for your web page, the title, which should stay in between these two head codes. So this is the opening head and closing head, and you can tell the difference by that slash right there. So you have your title, and this title is going to appear at the top of your browser. So when you open up a browser and you have some kind of a title at the top, you know, it usually reads up here. It'll give you the name of the page. So let me see if I can find an example of that. Okay, so it's not showing here in my browser because I'm using a Mac, but typically for PC computers, you're going to see a title appear. But, you know, again, it's just good practice to do that. So then you also have your body. So you have HTML telling the browser to read as HTML. You have your head, title in between. You have opening and closing. And then you have your closing head, opening body. And you can tell it's opening because there's no slash here. Then you would put your page content there. So that would include images, text, links, videos, what have you, tables. And then you're going to close off that body when your content is all finished. And then again, close off your HTML, and you can tell by this slash. So a basic HTML page will have those basic important tags. You can have a lot more than that, as I showed you earlier, but that's what's basically needed. The HTML tag tells the browser to read and render the page in HTML. Like I told you at the beginning, HTML tells it this is HTML language, read it as HTML language. The ending HTML tag tells the browser that this is the end of the page. The title tag denotes that the title displayed at the top of the browser should be placed at the top, reading between the head tags. If you don't place it between the head tags, it won't show up at the top of the browser. All of the content of the page, the text, images, media, should be enclosed between the body tags in order for it to show up on your web page. So we're going to try some basic HTML, and if you open up your Notepad++ or Text Wrangler, you can follow along with me. So if you're using a Mac, Text Wrangler will work. It's free. There's BBD Edit, and that one actually you have to pay for. I don't suggest that you pay for any kind of coding software because you can easily do it in Word as well. But for this purpose, it's really nice to have something that kind of differentiates between the lines. Notepad++ is free, and it's useful for PC users. Okay, so when you open up your Wrangler, Text Wrangler, or Notepad++, they're very, very similar. It's going to look a lot like this. So again, what you want to do is just give the basic codes for your HTML document. And it's going to look like this. You want to tell it's HTML. You want to give it the head, title. And for my page, I'm going to say Kimberly's web page. Going to close off that title, and then you're going to add your head for closing. And again, you can see here it has that little slash there, so that's what's closing it. And now I'm going to add body. So let's see, I can put Kimberly's website is hopefully a useful tool for you while learning HTML. And again, you can put links here, you can put text, images, video. We'll show you how to do that a lot later, but for now, just enter in some real basic text. And you're going to close off the body section and close off your HTML. So make sure you save this. Anything that you are saving as your home page, it is best practice to always save it as index.html. Don't save it as home or page 1 or anything like that. Save it as index. That's the way that you want to save it. I'm going to save this to my desktop just so it's easier to find. Okay, and as you can see, once you've saved it, it's really nice because it actually differentiates the code in different colors, and that's why I suggest that you get something like Text Wrangler or Notepad++. Notepad++ is actually a little bit nicer than this because it does it in red, and it automatically does all of the nesting for you. All right, so the next step is so if you are a Mac user, you want to use Fugu. And if you are a PC user, you're going to use the SSH shell, which is offered for free through the University of Hawaii at Manoa IT website. But since we are using Fugu, let's log in here. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than usual. Let's try that one more time. Well, it looks like my internet is not working at the moment. So what I would suggest is just go back to my Fugu example. I have a tutorial for that. And basically what you would do is go, as you can see here, let me see, it's my home. I'd go to desktop and I'd find the document that I saved today that says February 17th and at 9:05 p.m. That's my index page. And what I would do is on this right hand side it would have my remote section, and I would just drag it and drop it over. Once I drag it over to this side, I would go check my website by typing in my address, which would be www.hawaii.edu/tilde KMJ2, and whatever I saved as index would show up here. So I hope that was helpful for you. If you have any questions, you can also email us at uhlaswebteam@gmail.com, or you can check out our website at uhlaswebteam.wordpress.com. We have a contact us section here, and we have lots of videos that show you some information about different things that you can do with technology or just on your computer at home. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a good day.